Show with Zachary Davenport and Stu Smith. And our guest tonight, Pippi Lovestocking.
Hi.
How are you? Thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
Pippi.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always fun to do public access TV. I have a real soft spot in my heart for...
Yeah, I was reading something about you having some experience with Access TV somewhere else, but you know, it's such an important opportunity for people on limited means to talk to the public. You want
It's
anything to say
amazing.
about it?
Well, this was 20 years ago, 1989, 88, 89. I did a show in Atlanta, and actually, if you do a Google search, or I think on YouTube, some of my former co-stars have put some stuff up there, and it's fun to see that because it was just a different time in my life. I was still very enthusiastic about everything. 20 years of hard living can kind of beat it out of you. But see, unlike a talk show, which is, it's great that people do talk shows, but you just go in and sit down and do your thing. But this was more involved. It was a sitcom that I was trying to do. And it was kind of, I called it Transit Town Truck Stop.
I love that title.
And I was Pippi, Pippi Lovestocking, the parolee, who had been the child star. At that time, there was a lot of child stars getting in trouble, like they continue to do now. But
Boy, yeah.
I think I was really thinking of Dana Plato, who died actually. But in 1988, she was getting a lot of press for all the bad stuff she was doing, and her other co-stars on different strokes were all get involved in various crimes and stuff like that. So I thought, well, I wonder whatever happened to the little girl who was Pippi Longstocking, because I always loved those movies.
Me too.
At that time, I still had the stiff pigtails. I had wire pigtails and everything. And the storyline was that I was a recent parolee, and I was starting over with my husband, played by Talitha Mowry. She was a drag king and had played the role of Earl, and we were running a truck stop in Atlanta, Georgia. It actually wasn't really, I guess it was just an unnamed town in Georgia, but it was down in the south.
That sounds great. And we go from there to tonight. You'll leave this show, which is live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And she'll be appearing live tonight at Harvey's with Scott Capurro, one of the other comedians locally very well known.
Yeah, I've known Scott I've lived in San Francisco since '91, so I guess I've known him for coming up on 12 years or more. You know how, we're not like tight buddies who call each other all the time, but we did shows in the Russian River area before.
And you've done Viva Variety, which Steve Murray produced for years, and I know Scott's done that too. And I think Steve produced a couple of solo shows with Scott here in town, and maybe somewhere else too.
I think Scott goes abroad a lot. I think he has a good following
it.
in England. But tonight when I see him, hopefully I can catch up a little bit. But the stand-up comedy game is kind of tough. You're not always good friends with the people that you with. There's kind of a
Is there a sense? There's a competition.
There's a competitiveness, and amongst drag queens too, of course, amongst everybody. But as far as me being a drag queen, I love dressing up. Of course, it's a lot of fun. But I'm an actor too, but I'm very Nelly. I'm always typecast as the gay type, which is fine. I'm happy to get any job I can get, but I don't always perform in drag. I do my stand-up comedy in drag because I feel like that's more material to work off of. It's more of a visual thing.
Right.
And then there's guys that want to have sex with me. So you'd be surprised. Maybe you wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think
know.
so, but I'd like to hear you talk about it for a minute.
Well, I've always, been happy with being a gay man or whatever, but I realized when I started going out in drag, there's a whole different aspect of straight guys, if you will, who are like married or whatever, and they just want the adventure of being with the queen, So I'm like, wow, okay, I could never have gotten you if I was just dressed up in Dockers and trying to look hot, because I've got my little weight problems. I'm not, gay. I love the gay community, but they have some pretty strict standards of you got to look hot and young and rich and all that. So I don't feel like I meet up to those standards a lot of time when I'm just out as a boy or whatever. So it's like a whole new world was opened up to me when I started doing drags, like meeting guys when I was in drag. So, but I wouldn't want to really live this way all the time.
Right.
These things are heavy.
Right.
It's nice to peel them off at the end of the night.
It's kind of the best of both worlds to be able to do it when you feel like it, and to be able to entertain that way.
Yeah.
You know, I think you probably are a little freer.
Well, there's so many variations, I think, on life that, especially in the Bay Area, you've got every opportunity here to explore any kind of thing you want to do. And there's a lot of people who are transgendered or, you know, gender variant and all these different things. So I consider myself gay, but femme and willing to learn or whatever. But I can dress up in leather too, be just like a Folsom Street.
Well, I think
guy.
That's drag too.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I watched Zachary go, you know, wide variety of different kinds of presentations.
I've seen pictures of you on
excellent
Facebook.
drag, and then very butch, all sorts of stuff.
Thank you. And everything in between. I rarely get that.
You look mighty cute in them jeans tonight.
Thank you.
They are. They
Thank
show
you.
off his posterior.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So you talk about drag. When did you first get into drag?
Back when I was in college, for the first year, that's when I started. That's why I kind of just stuck with the name Pippi Lovestocking.
And where was that?
Like 1988.
And here in California?
Oh, in Atlanta.
Oh, in Atlanta.
I went to school
Okay.
at Georgia State University.
And
Southern
how was
Belle.
that? How was Georgia?
Well, it's the South.
Right.
But, you know, I'm a small town person. I grew up in a tiny town in North Carolina.
We have a call. We have
All
a caller.
right, we've got a live.
Hold
call.
that.
Welcome, caller. Welcome, caller.
Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hi.
Calling into the drag show.
Yes. Who
Can
are we
we-
speaking with?
Can anybody call?
Oh, hi. There seems to be a lag. Oh, anyway, I'm a big fan, Pippi.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name's Kiki.
Hi, Kiki.
Have we met before?
She wants to know if she's met you before,
I'm not
Kiki.
sure, but I just wanted to call in and say I think you're gorgeous.
Oh, you know, the camera adds 10 pounds.
And I think your movements are I love the way that you move, and I was wondering if you could just stand up and show us your outfit.
Why not? Why
I
not?
don't think the studio is big enough, really.
Well, he's gonna try and.
The outfit's not very cute. It's all black, you know. Big girls always like to slim down.
There
The
we
camera
go.
is
That's
panning
fabulous.
up and
You can see
down.
all the sequins. They look good on
Did that
camera.
work, Kiki?
Ooh.
Oh, see, I almost fell down.
You're a hot girl. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
calling.
Kiki.
Come see me
Bye-bye.
at Harvey's tonight.
Come to
She'll be at
Harvey's.
Harvey's tonight with Scott Capurro, starting at
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. So you can. That's a great time to meet her face to face.
And actually, I have a busy. After that, I have my nightclub thing at the Stud. It's called Pink Slip.
Oh, that's
I've
tonight
been
too?
getting
Yeah,
that.
it's
Wow.
Tuesday nights at midnight.
Now, what do you do? What is Pink Slip?
It's a drag cabaret show, and it's a lot of young, new blood. I know you've had Heclina on the show.
Right.
She used to do Tranny Shack
On
there
Tuesdays. So.
for like 12 years.
Right.
And she left. She just retired. You know, it's 12 years running. It's a long time to do a show. And I was actually one of the people who...
That's what I wanted to ask you. Didn't you kind of
Yeah,
co-found
I was
or
around.
begin or start?
We have a long history together.
Yeah.
But as she got more successful, I felt like I got... Well, and I wasn't as involved with the man. She's a good manager. She's a great business person. And I think she's made the most out of herself with what she has to offer. And she ran with it. And my hat goes off to her.
Yeah, she's pretty much
To be honest, we don't really speak that much anymore. I see her and I smile at her, but she doesn't seem to like the fact that I'm doing a club there on Tuesday nights now. Although she left on her own. She wasn't like she got kicked out or anything. She left on good terms. But
So
it's
what
her
is
decision.
Is the name of this now is Pink Slip?
Yeah.
Or okay, so it's
So
every
it's not
Tuesday
it's
night.
not Tranny Shack at all. Although
Right.
it's drag queens performing.
Right.
It's kind of the same idea. One thing, it's a lot of these people are. I mean, I'm 41, and these people are like 22, 23. So they have a different attitude about things. And I've learned a lot myself because I realized how I guess I was kind of closed-minded about how people feel about drag queens, and we're really mainstream now. I'm finding
It's amazing.
and I was actually invited, and it was, you know, I do a variety of gigs wherever whatever I can do to get money, I'll take it. And I got this agency, this talent agency I'm listed with, hired me to do a drag bingo night at this little straight college down Notre Dame University.
Sure, yeah.
And it was the cutest gig. Everyone's like, there was like 18, and they were dressed in you know, like these hot football guys are like, you know, masculine, the kind of guys that used to beat me up in high school. But they're wearing these dresses and stuff like it's a costume party, but they're not serious drag queens or anything like that.
I love
but
that.
they were really into me being the bingo caller, and they were, and it was, you know, girls and guys all there. So it was these girls hired me to they're the one who wanted me to do that. Yeah, I was like, well, these girls don't think of me as competition, obviously, or whatever, you know. So it's just like I was saying, it's an interesting way the world has changed. You know, like civil rights or whatever. You know, black people used to be so mistreated or whatever, and then people felt like they were being good by integrating them more, and so.
Right.
So I say gay's the new black in a sense, because we've gotten more mainstream and more appreciated and stuff like that. So. And I mean, I'm glad that people like us.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's all over the world.
But I grew up with a lot of abuse from other, you know, when you're Nelly and stuff like that in school. A lot of the guys are going to pick on you. And
well, you know, they say historically that it was drag queens and hustlers that brought on Stonewall.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 years before Stonewall, right here in San Francisco, at what is now the Food Academy or the Cooking Academy, was where we had our own version of Stonewall, and it was drag queens and hustlers then. Polk Street was the gay area, center of town. And
you were here for
yes,
69?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That must have been a fun
I wasn't
time,
in that event, but sure, it was big news here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, people were still being arrested in public toilets downtown San Francisco all the time.
Oh, that was another thing I did this past year. I told you how I like to be in movies or whatever I can get, and I didn't get a part. I was in the Milk movie with Sean Penn.
Fantastic!
But I was an extra. I was a drag queen extra. I worked about
I think
a
I
week.
saw you. Yeah.
I didn't see me.
I think I did, but it was hard, you know, because there were several queens in there, drag queens in there, and it was very quick.
Peaches Christ, you can see.
I saw her.
She only worked one day, and she still got a good shot, but she's lucky. And Precious Moments, I remember I could see her. There's like all these riot scenes where we're marching down the street carrying banners and stuff like that. So, but it's funny because there were a lot of first time queens. They were first time on a movie set, and they realized how painful being in high heels is for 12 hours.
How many hours?
So I've learned my lesson about that. I have comfortable shoes, you know, that I wear, because a lot of times the shots won't even show your feet. It's a long day being on a film set. It's a 12-hour day. And it can be a lot of fun. You play Scrabble and cards, and you pass the time with your fellow extras.
You know, speaking of a long time or a long day in heels, isn't Pollo Del Mar, like, she was doing some of the marches about the
Prop 8,
right. And she would march like in
is
different marches all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, just amazing in heels, and then
she's
like 8 to 10 hours a day.
You know her, don't you? I mean, you should have her on the show. We did
we were going
her.
to,
yeah.
We had maybe she'll talk about it when she comes, but we did this thing with Katy Perry for YouTube.
Oh, yes.
At Fort Mason, and it was a lot of fun. But Pollo, I always say her name wrong. Is it Pollo?
I do too. I don't know. I say Pollo.
Pollo.
Yeah.
Why did she choose a name like that? And to confuse us all. But anyway.
She'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. Yeah.
She was so nervous and excited, you know, and that smile. She has that big smile. But I was like, God.
So you were with Katy Perry? You met her?
There were 4 of us.
Oh, God.
Myself.
Are you going to her show tomorrow?
No, I didn't get a ticket for that.
Yeah, I haven't either,
But basically, we were just set decorations, you know, us drag queens kind of fussing around with her in her dressing room at the top, and then goes down the stairs onto the main stage.
For a music video? Or
for the YouTube live event.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, YouTube has created a lot of stars, if you will, like
right.
people who I didn't really know, but they were there too. Like there's a guy who does hugs, and there's a guy who dressed as Darth Vader, and I think that queen who says "Leave Britney alone."
Oh
her?
yeah.
It's like it's so easy now. It's so
like,
you
yourself-made
get yourself a camera, get lots of clips on YouTube, and so. It's changed the idea.
But going back to that, I mean, isn't kind of starting Pink Slip? Isn't that kind of like the evolution or the passing of the torch? You mentioned all these young guys and gals, and like there's one of the original reasons Zachary and I got together was the huge age difference, because I come from a time when drag was brown. No, we're pals.
We're not.
We're very close friends, but we share a couple of things. I have a fascination with the exploration of the idea of drag, because I think it's always been with us in one form or another.
Oh yeah, sure.
And there's a million kinds of it, but I think it's fascinating right now, the young people that you're talking about working with at Pink Slip at the Stud every Tuesday night.
Yeah, every Tuesday night.
Yeah. It's kind of a little more. It's not necessarily radical, but a little more performance based.
Yeah, I was going to say they have a lot of. Like puppeteers, for example, these guys, the butthole puppets. You can just imagine what that involved. But it's just like it's just performance.
We have another caller.
We got another call, Pippi.
Just 1 second.
Yay!
Hello, caller.
It's a robot. It's Darth Vader.
Caller, can you call back? I don't know why it was doing
Does
that.
it tell you who?
We don't. Yeah, you can usually see the number.
I think that was Shovel.
That might have been. We have a frequent caller that uses the name
Maybe he'll
Shovel
call back.
or Shovel.
Oh,
And,
that's the thing about a live show. You never know.
Yeah. But any particular people that you're working with right now that are exciting, or you think are potential stars, or?
Well,
besides yourself.
Oh
Pippi.
no! Well, I mean, Virginia Suicide is the person who's like the MC of the club there, and just a lot of new faces whose names I don't remember at the top of my head.
Fair enough.
And they invited me, I guess, because I'm somebody from the old guard, if you will, and I usually do my stuff at the top of the show. I have a couple of songs and. Try some of my snappy pattern. Oh, there's
some
showing some.
Oh yeah, why don't you tell us about these?
Yeah, that was a really fun coup. Sandra Bernhard came and she did the Miss Tranny Shack pageant. Heckling and I's mutual friend Scooter LaForge in New York City is a friend of hers, he set that up, I guess. So, and I was thrilled to meet her. So I got a picture with her backstage.
That's
I think she's an amazing comedian and.
She is.
She is.
That was
this
my
picture I just love.
Yes.
That's the wig free. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
That was a photo session I did with a really good photographer. His name's on the bottom, Gene Heiga.
Gene Heiga.
That's just something in my bathroom. I was fooling her for my sexy ad on Craigslist or whatever. And that was when I was trying to get a part as Pete Burns for this Japanese TV show.
Oh.
It's called World's Astonishing News, and it's hilarious. But I've done several episodes of that show. I've probably done 12 episodes of that show.
Wow.
But they didn't use me after all, but I didn't look enough like Pete Burns. And this was, this Irish girl is doing a book on trannies, and she asked me to pose for her, so that was a good studio shot. And now it's back to
you.
Back to you, the live you, the real you.
Yeah.
It's going to be appearing later tonight at Harvey's with Scott Capurro.
That's right.
I should have gotten this number and given it out to some people to call.
We should have told you.
I didn't. Yeah.
We forgot. Any other things going on in the near future?
Well, I produced a stand-up comedy special, which I, taped it myself, and hopefully to promote myself, and I'd like to get it on the air.
Awesome.
At maybe Logo or anybody that will take it, Comedy Central or what have you. So I'm trying to get more stand-up comedy gigs. Try to do that more professionally and get paid for something. Maybe do a cruise line or whatever.
That's great.
You know.
Well, I've seen your stand-up on that show I was talking to you about earlier, and you are... I could not stop laughing. And I just love your comedy.
Well,
it really hits, you know, and I think especially you just really speak, you know, to comedians, I think, hit those issues really well, and you really...
Well, there's a lot of insecurity there, too. It's like you want people to like... for me, personally, it's like you always feel like you want people to like you, obviously. But then, you know, some comedians are edgy, and they talk about subject matter that people aren't comfortable with. And, you know, I just want to get paid. I'm an actor. I would do a diaper commercial. That's one of the things I say. I would gladly do a diaper commercial. I have no shame about any product that I could live off of residuals or whatever, you know. So I just try to keep myself open for whatever comes along. And sometimes things don't come along. You have to create your own outlet. So that's what I did with the stand-up comedy special, my own special. So, I mean, I see other people who've done it, and I think, well, they're doing it, so I ought to be able to do it, you know. So it's my own. I guess I've only got myself to be accountable for in that aspect of getting myself out there and doing it more. So.
Well, that's a great closing message.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Is it been 22
It has.
minutes?
We have about
it goes
15
quick.
seconds to go.
Oh, my gosh. Well, it just flew by.
What do you want to say to your audience as a goodbye for right now?
Well, I guess I'd like to say thank you for watching and calling, and sorry that we missed your last call, if that was you, Shovel, but there's always Facebook.
And we're off.
All right. Thank you. Okay.